What do you do when you have tried and tried and tried, and it doesn't seem like whatever you've done is working? Mention the word or the numbers 2020, and everyone immediately have an idea or a picture in their mind of 2020. It looks different for everyone. I'm sure for you, you probably have an experience that is unique to you, especially if you have a business, or and for some people, unfortunately, had a business. 2020 will be remembered or go down in their book as probably the worst year they've ever had. But not just in business, but it has happened in relationships. It has happened in people's health. You name it. 2020 has provided some kind of context where everyone have had a different experience. So what do you do when you feel like whatever you have tried the last week or weeks or months and almost now for the year, but it hasn't worked out? It really hasn't worked out the way that you were hoping for. And it feels like you are a failure. You feel that way. How many people have said to me those words in many, many contexts, especially as a counselor and as a coach? In the coaching space, especially, people have said, yeah, I feel like a failure. And I said, well, okay. Well, it is a feeling. It is a feeling, right? Because it's not your reality to have a feeling like a failure. But what do you do? What do you do? I would love to hear from you what it is you do when you feel that way, or when you've had experiences that truly would go under the heading of failure. Maybe you would put it under that category, or somebody else would for you. Maybe you grew up hearing those words. You are a failure. I have people who have said to me, actually just recently had someone said, there are certain trigger words that when they hear, they're immediately brought back to their upbringing. And this person said, I grew up in a time when my parent, and they named the parent, actually it was a dad. And this person said, my dad would say things that were mean in nature. And so we say, you'll never amount to anything. You're going to be just a failure, and they compare so and so. And that person said, so whenever I hear that word in a context, a conversation that I'm in, I immediately think somebody is saying I am a failure because they heard their dad's voice. So you may be feeling that way because of past experiences, maybe something traumatic, maybe something you were brought up with. So every time you fail at something, you immediately think that you are a failure. I love this quote by Michael Jordan. And this is what Michael Jordan said, one of the greatest players, the greatest basketball player of all time in my book, maybe not yours, and we can have a debate about that, and we'll just keep it there. But in my book, he said this: I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan looked at failure as we ought to. He looked at failure as an event, or as a feeling. And so he didn't allow that to take over his life or his career for basketball. He realized he had a bad game and may have failed in winning the game. So he chalked that up as A feeling is an event, not him. He removed himself from that. And that's one of the key for success is that we have to be able to remove ourselves and not pin ourselves to that and say we are a failure. And how often have we said that? Remember, my friend, a feeling is not a reality. It's just what it is, a feeling. Never confuse your feeling with reality. And so many people have done that. They've confused their feelings with reality. I have done that in the past. Occasionally, I find myself slipping there and I just have to pull myself back and remind myself of this very thing. So I would like for you to say that with me and make sure you keep this in the back of your mind or the front of your mind that my feeling, go ahead, my feeling is not my reality, right? My feeling is not my reality. So when I feel like a failure, it's a feeling, it's not your reality. And it's very important to separate yourself from that. Because if you don't, you're not going to want to try again. You're going to stay where you are in the stuck place of feeling like a failure. And that's why I love what I said about Michael Jordan's quote. I love also this quote by one of the greatest statesmen and wartime general of all times, I believe. And his name is Sir Winston Churchill. And Sir Winston Churchill said this: success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is a courage to continue that counts. It is the courage to continue that counts. And maybe you're struggling right now with something that have a setback in your life or in your business, and you're wondering, how do I regroup? How do I plan for? How do I get myself back on track? Well, there are a number of ways, and I want to share with you one way or one strategy or one idea, one program that I believe that could be helpful to you in a monetary way. And I'll share that with you in a few moments because I believe it's very, very important that you realize this. And if you're watching this live and you want to comment or make a question, you can go ahead and do that right now. If you're watching this on a replay on demand as you chose to watch, then just put hashtag replay inside the actual, in the comment section. So I know you're watching it on a replay. But if you're feeling like a failure, I remember I said earlier, it's a feeling, right? It's not a reality. It's what it is, a feeling. And so I want you to remember that, right? Here is also something very important. Failure is feedback. It is a feedback to tell you about something that you might need to work on and correct. It tells you that there is something that you could have done differently or might want to think about doing differently. So you've tried something, it didn't work out. Well, maybe it's not because you are a failure. It's simply that you may want to use another way of looking at something or trying something. It was Thomas Edison who said, when he tried to discover the light we enjoy every day, and he said, when it was asked how, you seem to have done it so many times, he said, I didn't fail. I mean, I've tried 9,000. No, sorry, I guess it was 5,000. The number sometimes says 5,000 and 10,000, whichever number you want to choose. But the point is, he said, no, if you choose 5,000, he said, I found 4,999 ways that something did not work. Imagine that mindset. Or if you use 10,000, he would say, I found 9,999 ways that did not work. That's how he looked at what he did. And he was able to discover what we now enjoy. So it's a feedback that we get. And we need to understand that when we get a feedback, we can go and correct and try to work on making better what we had done. And that's why I love this, what happened recently. And if you're following SpaceX with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk, is trying to get people to the Mars, but he got to get to the moon and so on first. And he has a SpaceX, which is his business. And he launched this rocket, right? Remember, you may recall, and it's a $200 million rocket, right? $200 million. It blew up on re-entry. So on landing, it blew up. So $200 million went down the drain, and people would say, what a waste. What a waste. But Elon Musk had a different thought. Here's what he said. He tweeted this out. He said, shortly after the $200 million prototype explosion, He congratulated the SpaceX team for collecting the necessary data. Look at how he looked at this whole thing. When someone saw failure, he saw success. He said this: fuel header tank pressure was low during landing burn, causing touchdown velocity. Now, I don't understand all this high, convoluted words, so don't try to have me explain them. I'm just reading his quote, but don't miss the point here. Causing touchdown velocity to be high and RUD RUD. But here's the key, we got all the data we needed. Congrats, SpaceX team. Hell yeah. Imagine that mindset, that leader saying, we didn't fail. A $200 million rocket, 200. Are you kidding me, Elon Musk? People would say, Kingsley, he has a lot where that comes from, right? And I'll say, oh, maybe, but it's all relative. It's all relative. He may have a lot where that come from. And, but it's how he looked at it. Let's just see what someone have said here. And I appreciate you chiming in. And I want to make sure that I give you opportunity to see. Shivaraj, I hope I said your name correctly, said, motivating and encouraging session. Appreciate sharing love, the coach shared. Here's my point of view. Being failure has helped me to know my limits. Wow, that's good. I appreciate that. And when I worked on my limits and bounced back as a powerful phoenix, I love it. I had an electrifying experience. Wow. Shivaraj, thank you for sharing that. That's really important. And you've captured very well what it is I'm talking about. So thank you for chiming in and adding your voice to our conversation, because it's important to recognize, as we just had Shivaraj said about how he have handled failure. But as we go back then to remember what Elon Musk did, right? He saw it as a feedback, $200 million feedback. And he's now excited that they have data to do something better. What if you were to view your life and view what you're going through as feedback when you have these setbacks? I love what someone said, a very favorite preacher that I follow and I listen to him every so often, Joel Osteen. You may have we won't get into the debate about who people may say or think. The point is, he would say this, that setback is a setup for a comeback. A setback is a setup for a comeback. Imagine if you viewed your setback in 2020 as a setup for a comeback. Imagine if you chose to look at it that way. What might be different? What might be different? And so I believe that if you look at failure not as a person like you, it's an event, it's feedback. Failure of feeling is just a feeling, is not reality. Then what might happen in 2021 or whenever you're watching this? What might happen in the coming year or months or weeks for you if you were to change the mindset? One of the things I love is learning and growing and becoming better at what I do. And so I'm putting a challenge on myself. After 2020, I saw 2020 had some feedback, some opportunities that I'm thinking, wow, I'm doing more work from home, like maybe you are, most people are. And I see opportunities have sprung up that I may have overlooked and not realized had COVID not happened. So COVID has provided opportunities that we may never have had we not had COVID. So yes, it may have its bad parts, but it also have its good parts as well. I told someone today that every negative must have a positive, because a negative is a negative because a positive exists somewhere. So it's true that something that has gone bad must have a good part of it, because it cannot be bad if there's not a good. So you need one for the other to be true. So imagine you're thinking about how 2020 have been for you. It's a bad experience. Well, my friend, inside of that is a good morsel, a good nugget. You've got to dig for it. I discovered something that I'm going to be pursuing, and I want you to join me if you're able to. But in 2020, I'm actually in a few days when 2021 rolls around, there is I'm in a group with a coach that really is helping us to make 2021 our best year yet. And I'm going to scroll at the bottom of this screen where you can actually join me in this idea, which I was showing to you a few moments. But you can actually join me here at kingsthegrant.com/best year. If you go there right now, you can access truly this idea, this training that I want to share with you, because I believe that we can have our best year this year, actually 2021. And I want to, I can scroll this on the bottom of the screen for you, so you can actually have that going while we're talking. And let's see here. Okay, there we go. So, okay, so this year I want you to be planning for having a best year. And so let me share with you then what this opportunity is. My coach and the group we're involved in is going to offer a program starting in January 2021, 8 weeks. And it's how to grow a six-figure business. And this came out of 2020, my friend. This came out of 2020. As bad as 2020 was, this idea came out, and we are seeing opportunities. Now, you may not be big about, okay, I don't want to grow a business, I'm not into this. Well, it may not be for you, but do you know somebody who could use it? See, we have to start thinking differently. But if you want to grow a six-figure business in 2021 on autopilot, even if you are brand new and have no idea where to start, I want to encourage you to join me in this in January 2021. It starts very soon, but you got to go to right away, kingsofgrant.com/best year, and join me there, because I believe that you could have your best year yet, best month yet, even after what you've gone through last week, last month, or 2020. Whatever that you want to think about, you can have your best year. So would you join me? If you go there at kingsofgrant.com/best year, right there, and you do that, join me and just see what happens, because I believe the best is yet to come. I wanted to jump on a bit late, a bit lengthy, but I wanted to share with you about how to really feel like a fail, but try again, right? Right? Fail, try again. Fail, try again. And like Michael Jordan says, like what I shared earlier, I love his quote. I go back to Michael Jordan. We close out with this. Michael Jordan says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. My friend, that could be you. So why don't you join me and let this become your best year yet? Earn a six-figure, maybe for yourself, or maybe you know someone who may use it. You may not be you, but could you be a vehicle, a conduit to pass this on to someone who has a business? If you are in private practice as a practitioner, a clinician, I want to encourage you, especially you, because I want to be there as one myself. So join us and let's make this our best year yet. My friend, I want to thank you for taking the time to join and be with us tonight, and be with me tonight. I do appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing and watching this, and I hope to see you on the next time. So I've always closed this out this way. Having heard something tonight that inspired you, share this video. Share this video. Give it some love, some likes, comments, but share this with someone else if you think you found some value there. And encourage people to watch the Kings of Grant live show. I really want to encourage them to watch that. But my friend, having been inspired, hopefully from this, now you go and take that from Kings of Grant so you can inspire someone. Go and inspire someone today. With that said, my friend, peace out. God bless, and I'll see you on the flip side. Yeah.